morning, everybody. Got your coffee cup? Well, I know mine says, hello, gorgeous. And I want you to know, if you're thinking I bought this for myself, I did not. It was a gift to me from a precious friend. So, in our living rooms, hibernating. I'm Sheila Johnson, spiritual leader at Unity of Stockton. We're all into oneness, mind, body, spirit at Unity of Stockton. We're a positive path for spiritual living. We honor the divine presence in all, and we radiate the message of unity coming together through loving service. And we inspire spiritual growth through spiritual awakening. So welcome to you all. So glad you're here while we're all hibernating together. We welcome you and want you to know that the divine in me honors the divine in you. Namaste. Good start to the morning. So you know those cute little baby bear cubs that come out of their mama after a winter of hibernation? We all love that, don't we? So, do you know they are the offspring of, well, of course you know this, they're the offspring of the mama and papa bear who have been hibernating all winter. And we'll talk about why that is in a minute. But consider that we are like the mama or the papa bear, and we're hibernating right now. And there's going to be some offspring or some byproduct of this hibernation, and we'll talk about that. But for a moment now, let's consider a different perspective about hibernating. Some of us are not happy with this, but try this perspective shift. Instead of seeing social distancing and travel bans as panic or fear, try seeing them as an act of mass cooperation intended to protect the collective whole. This plan's not about individuals going into hiding. It's a deep, global, deep breath. An agreement between humans around the planet to just be still. Be still. Take a few deep breaths in hopes that the biggest wave can pass without engulfing too many of the most vulnerable among us. A different perspective. Okay, all you mama, papa bears out there hibernating, inactivity going on, laying in front of the TV, doing nothing, saving the world. So it looks from the outside as if nothing's going on, as if you're just being quiet, hibernating, inactive. No growing going on in your psyche. No change is going on, which we all always need as much as we resist it. And we're hibernating in our houses, in our homes, but in this temple that houses our soul, this body that's the temple that houses our soul, we're also hibernating in there. And from the outside there, it looks like no growth is going on, nothing's changing. But on the inside of this body temple, we're teeming with the life energy. Yeah, we're resting. Hope you're getting lots of rest. And we're preparing. We're preparing for new beginnings. I found out a tidbit when I was looking up the hibernation of bears yesterday. Do you know that while they're hibernating, they can actually recycle their urine so that they don't have to actually go out and urinate? And I had to think, no TP needed there. Oh, wow. So when they're hibernating, though, they lower their body temperature. They lower their breathing, slow it down. They lower their heart rate. And these are all states of meditation. when we meditate, even when we pray, which I like to combine prayer and meditation, we slow down our breathing, slow down our heart rate. We just relax. And like the bears, we slow down our metabolism. And of course, metabolism, we know, is breaking down our food and transforming it into energy. What about transforming our fear, breaking down our fears, our concerns, our irritation or frustration with this not being able to find toilet paper, not being able to go out? What about if we transform those into something greater? It's all about transforming energy. We get so caught up in the fear. We absorb so much of it without even being aware of it. We accumulate it in our bodies, in our psyche, in our minds, in our hearts. So much of unconscious existence. We don't even realize the full extent of it in our day-to-day activities. Wouldn't you say it's time to burn that fat off? The bears have to burn off their fat. They store it. It's time to burn it off. And it's time for us to burn off our fat that we're stored. Not real fat, but the fears. Burn off those fears. And what I mean by that is let them go. In Unity, we talk about all of us having the power to let go, to eliminate any thoughts that are not serving us. And those fears are not serving us. We know that. They're not keeping us in harmony with the divine. And when we allow ourselves to be in harmony with the divine, we can conquer anything. And that divine is greater than anything that we experience on this human earth realm. And we know that. So we let go of those thoughts of fear and frustration and whatever it is we experience, and we transform it into hope for new beginnings. We rest. We rejuvenate. We boost our immune systems. We conserve our energy for when sufficient spiritual food is available. The bears eat a lot and then they hibernate to conserve their energy when in the wintertime not sufficient food available. And for us, sometimes we need spiritual food and we're not getting it. So now we're conserving our energy in our homes till when spiritual food is available, when we do our own spiritual work. So we need spiritual food, always. We need to do our spiritual work. Meditate, pray, read spiritual readings, whatever we need to do. And symbolically, inside this body temple that houses our soul, we, like the bears, need to store enough energy for the duration of the time. And how much energy we need to store and how much energy the bears need to store depends in part on the condition of their body. And on us, we're taking care of our elderly because we know that they are in most vulnerable state. So that bear might represent our society as a whole and the condition of our society as a whole. Kind of a mess right now, isn't it? And so maybe we need to conserve more energy because of that. And it also represents us as individuals. There's the microcosm, as above, so below. So we're a microcosm of something much greater, of our greater society. So we get our bodies into shape. We get our immune systems into shape. We improve the immune system of our society. So we need to store a lot of energy for that. So let's do it. Let's store that energy. We, of course, want to curb the spread of the virus. And some bears when they're going into hibernation, they just eat a whole lot and get fat. And they store that energy in fat deposits. Or some animals do that by just hoarding food and stashing it. So I guess that might be a little better than storing it in our bodies in fat deposits. We wouldn't need as much toilet paper that way. So I'm going to let you go with that one. So you know that the pregnant mama bears, they increase their body mass and their body fat for the benefit of their young, those cute little cuddly bears. And that enables a warm, nurturing environment for the newborns. That fat acts as a great insulator, excellent insulator for those cute little bears, those cute little cubs. Now our offspring, from doing all this hibernating, the fruits of doing our spiritual work while we're nestled in our homes, while we're hunkered down, is that we'll be ready. We'll be ready for whatever awaits us. We'll be rested. We'll be rejuvenated, ready to meet the challenges that we encounter on this earthly realm in our lives. And so Charles Fillmore, one of our co-founders, said at age 93, "I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me." We'll be ready. We'll be ready. We're preparing for new beginnings. And today's daily word is power. I take dominion over my thoughts, my words, and my actions. Let's take a look at the daily word for today. The power of God protects me. Today, I hear with renewed understanding this line from James Dillard Freeman's Prayer for Protection. In a growing awareness of oneness with my source, I realize that the power of God works through me and as me rather than simply in me or for me. Those two, all of that. I embody divine power by choosing words that affirm the truth with a capital T, that I am a spiritual being as I navigate the valleys and peaks of my human experience. By expressing my power, I am claiming dominion over my words and thoughts. I affirm statements of truth with a capital T while releasing negative thoughts and ideas. I think and speak with the authority of my Christ presence. The biblical scripture that supports this is from 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God did not give us a spirit of cowardice, but rather a spirit of power and of love and of self-discipline. Chewing on those words as we hibernate and get ready for new beginnings. Hope these words have been an inspiration to you, a way of looking at our situation in a different light. And I want to say, in support of Unity of Stockton and all churches and spiritual centers, because we have no one coming in, we can't do in-person services. We're looking at creative ways of offering this. And I think this is a great way. We got a cup of coffee, cup of water. Hope you got yours on our living room couches. But because we are in this situation, we have not as much money coming in. Hate to mention the M word, but the truth is we still have to pay our overhead expenses, even though no one is here. So if you have it in your heart to want to donate, give with love, something to our Unity community, Know that we give from our hearts, not for any other reason, and we give in many ways. We give by serving others in this time, in this difficult, challenging time. We serve others, as so many of you are doing. And it doesn't have to be big. It can be a phone call to someone that you know, an elderly person who's stuck inside, might be running an errand. If you have an opportunity to be able to get outside, it just a phone call. We help others. That's one way we give from the heart. And on our dollar bill it says, "In God we trust." So today we affirm our partnership with our divine source. And we know that whatever we give, whether it be a gift to the community that gives you spiritual food, and hopefully yours might be Unity of Stockton, whatever we give, knowing whatever we give brings increase of some kind. Might not look like the increase that we think it will, but knowing that we give from our heart in so many, many ways. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye.